The 2022-23 season was a pivotal moment for the San Jose Sharks. It's been 3 years since they last made a playoff appearance, and if it wasn't clear enough that this franchise had given up on their core by now, trading away some of their biggest stars in Timo Meier and Erik Karlsson was a clear message to fans that their inevitable rebuild is finally underway. If you ever want to argue that the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win in sports, the Sharks are the perfect example. They've been to the playoffs 21 of the 30 seasons they've played in since joining the NHL in 1991, have made the conference finals 5 times, and have made just one Stanley Cup Finals appearance in the 2015-16 season, which they ended up losing to Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. While they haven't been able to complete their ultimate goal, the Sharks were one of the best teams in the league for over a decade, with some of the biggest stars like Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Brent Burns, Joe Pavelski, and countless others within their organization. However, those days have come and gone, and now it's time for us to try and rebuild this team and bring the Stanley Cup to San Jose. Alright, we are back, or I guess technically it's the first time here in NHL 24's franchise mode. Couple of changes, obviously. You can see the dark overlay with the green highlights is pretty nice on the eyes, I'll say, in comparison to the bright white screen in the background. It's nice aesthetic there, I like it. And here we are with the San Jose Sharks. Obviously not a very good team to start out with for the first season, but I think we can develop them over the next few seasons into a cup contender. Obviously, the first big thing to address is how our lines are looking, and we got Anthony Duclair, who we signed this season, or this past summer rather, Thomas Hertl, and Alexander Barabanov. Not a bad first line. Not really worried that they're going to be too good enough to make us competitive, where we're going to lose value in our draft pick for this next offseason. Logan Couture, Mikael Granlund, and Philip Zadina. Once again, we signed Zadina to I believe it was a 1 year, $1.1 million deal. Hoffman, our rookie, William Eklund, who's probably our best prospect in the organization, 7th overall pick from 2021. Kevin Labanc, Fabian Zetterlund from New Jersey, Luke Cunnin, and Oscar Lindblom. That's our forward core. As for defense, we've got Mark-Edward Vlasic, who should be on, wow, that is an awful contract. 3 more years at $7 million. We're going to have to try and do something about that. Jan Ruda, Matt Benning, Mario Ferraro, Radim Semek, and Kyle Burrows. And for our goaltenders, we got Kaapo Kähkönen, who's actually a pretty solid goaltender, only a 1-year deal, or 1 year remaining on his contract at $2.75, and Mackenzie Blackwood, who's on a 2-year deal. So just in case we can't get Kähkönen back, or if we want to trade him, we will have at least Mackenzie Blackwood as our NHL goaltender for 1 more season after that. Looking at our AHL lineups, Giovanni Smith, his brother's Jamel Smith, Thomas Bordeleau, another great prospect for us, 2nd-round pick from 2020. Tristan Robbins, Martin Kaut, Ryan Carpenter, Adam Raska. Philip Bysted's another player who we could watch out for, a 2022 first-round pick. Other than that, not a lot of great prospects. Ozzy Weisblatt, another first-round pick. Yeah. Most of our good players are in the NHL, and I think we're going to be actually drafting a lot of our next best prospects, which should be exciting because our drafts are going to be super important to the future of this team. And the next thing I want to look at is just our coaching staff for the upcoming season. We actually have an A- here with this coach. I don't know what his name is. Joshua Doig. So A's all around there. Pretty good morale and chemistry with the team. Although it's the team's going to be seeing a lot of turnover over the next few seasons. So with 3 years left on his contract, he will be our coach of the foreseeable future. Unless any drastic changes occur, we'll see what's up with that. Looking at free agency, obviously this roster is super new because we're in the early access for NHL 24, and they haven't updated Trevor Zegras, who just re-signed with the Anaheim Ducks. I'm not going to go after him, obviously, and I probably won't go after Jamie Drysdale either, just because I think they'll be able to settle that deal. Patrick Kane, though, is the highly touted free agent available. I don't really see a fit for him on this team, especially with just wanting 1 year at 3.7. That's a great contract for sure. But I think it's more likely that he'll sign with a team like Buffalo in his hometown, or just wait it out to see what contending teams are shaping up in maybe December or January. So he's in total control of his future there. As for any other free agents that we may want to pursue, I was looking at this earlier, and I think there's not really a lot out here. Maybe Jesse Puljujarvi, he's 25, 80 overall. We could maybe put him in our top 6 and see if there's any way that we could boost up his overall for trade. So I'm actually going to send him an offer. Let's see what we can get here. 1 year, maybe, what does he want for 2 years? Okay, 2 years, $900,000. Can't complain about that if he signs that deal. Other than that, Joe Thornton, I considered maybe bringing him back, although he probably wouldn't play with us. If he's a free agent next year and he's still available and hasn't retired, then who knows? Maybe we'll bring him back for a little run there. Other than that, I think that's pretty much the only free agent we wanted to offer. Let's see if he accepts it in the next day or so, and then we will get to simulating on the first season. One last thing I thought I'd show before we simulate this season. William Eklund, obviously the highest value. We could just go through all the values here. You guys can see for yourselves. So Philip Bystead, actually one of our top valued players, even though it's not looking too great right now. He is 19 years old, 71 overall, pretty good. Gonna get some development in the AHL. Quentin Musty as well is another one of our top prospects, although he's still playing in the OHL right now with the Sudbury Wolves. 64 overall, 18 years old, first round pick. So, I mean, yeah, the values aren't really reflecting it, but we do have a lot of first round picks that we could hopefully develop into a better squad in the near future. Also, before I forget, we have 2 first round picks this year. Obviously, from the Pittsburgh Penguins, we got that pick in the trade for Erik Karlsson, and our own first round pick. I anticipate that ours is obviously going to be a lot more valuable than Pittsburgh's. You never know. But this draft is going to be super important for the future of this franchise. So let's go ahead and see how this team simulates. All right, and we did sign Jesse Puljujarvi. So just before the season starts, I will go and slot him in the lineup. All right, so now that we've moved up Puljujarvi, I actually have him slotted in on the second line. There was no real chemistry change between him and Zadina. Zadina, obviously younger. Not really good potential with him, although Puljujarvi's not really either, but we want to see if we can make this experiment pay off for us. Yeah, let's get back to the sim. Alright, so here we are, January 27th, 2024. And somehow the San Jose Sharks are decent. They're 4th in the Pacific Division. Obviously, in every other division, they probably wouldn't be as close to a playoff spot. For some reason, the Kraken fell off. The Kings are horrible. I don't really know why this is going on. We're at 500 right now. Anthony Duclair leads our team with 33 points in 48 games. Kind of surprising there, not gonna lie. Hurdle, Couture, and Barabanov all with 30 points. Eklund with 28 in 48 games. Love to see that. And he gets 1 overall boosted as well, which is great. Philip Zadina with a decent little bounce back season for him. 10 goals, 28 points in 48 games. Already at his career high. Already at his career high in the NHL, so can't complain about that. Jesse Puljujarvi, not too great at all. Could surpass his career high. I don't know. We'll keep this experiment rolling though. I mean, if we're winning, it's not really in our best interest as a franchise in the long run to be winning. But I can't really. I can't make this team tank. If the Sharks are going to see success, they're going to see success. I almost completely forgot to look at the AHL team, which is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. We are last in the Pacific Division with Ryan Carpenter leading the way. Let's see if there's any other good stat lines from our younger prospects. Thomas Bordeleau. Not that good either. Can't complain. I guess he's only a 77 overall at 22, so he's still got a little bit of time to grow. Philip Bystead, though, in his first AHL season, 19 points in 43 games. Don't hate that. Aussie Weisblad as well, getting similar totals to him. How is our goaltending doing? I didn't even check that in the NHL. Maybe that's a reason why we're doing really well. Holy smokes, it seems to be the case. Kaapo Kähkönen with a 927 save percentage, so he could be some trade bait here at the deadline. If we're hovering around 500, I think we can make this team worse. Once again, I don't want to actively make this team as bad as possible, but I definitely think it'd be better if we did bad this year. Alright, so here we are just before the trade deadline, still around 500. Thomas Hertl is now leading our team in points with 45 in 62 games. As you can see, we're just 1 point behind the Kraken for the 4th spot in the Pacific Division. And in the Central, it looks like the Blues and the Jets currently hold the wildcard spot. So we're still close to the Blues for that wildcard spot in the West. It's going to be tight with the Canucks also, which is 1 point behind us as well. Let's take a bit of a break from looking at the standings, though, and look at some of our contracts for the future that we can sign some extensions on. Obviously, Anthony Duclair with a great season. Jumped up to an 85 overall, 21 goals, 21 assists. Great season so far. Do I want to extend him? I think so. I think we have the cap space as well. 5 years, 4.975. I don't hate that at all, especially at 28. When we start competing, he'll be probably in his just about turning 30, early 30s. So that might, I'll go 4 years just so it expires when he's like 32. So let's see if we take that. That's just under 5 million. I can't hate on that. Philip Zadina, pretty good showing for the guy who has not had a great history at the NHL level so far. So I think he's deserved himself a little contract extension that might even boost his value a little bit. Do I want to give him 2.4 million is the question. We might hold off on that for a little bit. See if there's any overall boost at all. Luke Cunnin is going to be an RFA, so we can hold off on him for now. Hoffman, we don't really want to extend. Probably will end up trading Hoffman. Kevin Labanc as well. Might end up trading him. Barabanov, might end up trading him. I don't know. Like, this is the really only for sure bet that I want on this team is Duclair right now, with the way that he's showed out here. Obviously, we can extend some of our rookies later on, but maybe we can get it done. Let's look at Thomas Portillo. He wants a one-way deal. Ooh, all right. I don't know about that just yet, buddy. You're putting up good numbers at the AHL level, not great numbers. We'll explore that at the end of the season. Let's look at our goaltending now. I'm sure Kähkönen's going to want a ton of money. We're probably going to have to trade him. Wow. Okay, he does not right now. Maybe even if I get an extension on him, his value will go up if we trade him. Because I don't really know if it's worth keeping him right now. We could probably get an elite goaltender down the line, maybe in free agency. So maybe if I extend him for like 4 years, do a little sign and trade. Because regardless, if we don't get any good value back in the trade market, like if there's no good offers for us, then I think I don't mind keeping him for now. Makiniemi, I don't know this guy, but he's 78 overall, 24 years old. Looks like our AHL goalie. He's not doing great, but our team's not great either, so I'll extend you for now, buddy. He wants a one-way. There's no way I can give you a one-way right now, dude. We have Mackenzie Blackwood and Kaapo Kähkönen. Alright, so there's a lot of uncertainties when it comes to our team's future because we're in this weird window. I totally anticipated us to just be bad and all the decisions would be a lot easier to make. But we're at a crosshairs here. So let's go to the trade deadline and see if there's anything that we can find value with. I'm going to go with a conservative seller. All right, so obviously some of the big names. It turns out Patrick Kane did end up signing with the Buffalo Sabres, which is pretty cool. 78 points in 64 games. Obviously, they got a lot of offensive talent now in Buffalo. Probably on the top line with Tage Thompson, which is awesome. Nothing really jumping out at us right away. Alright, so I found a decent trade here with the Pittsburgh Penguins to move on from Mike Hoffman. Obviously, the Penguins are contending, so they probably want to add a little depth scoring. Obviously, it's a high price with Mike Hoffman at $4.5 million for 1 year. So I'm thinking even if I retain him at 50%, we might be able to get a pick out of it as well, which would be awesome. Because I really like the goaltender prospect that we're already getting, and that is Joel Blomqvist, 76 overall, 22-year-old. Not doing great right now this season, but a second-round pick with medium starter potential is a pretty solid asset for us to have in our AHL system. All right, and we're going to try and get a second-round pick for them, and we're going to add a fourth from Vegas. Looks pretty even in the trade value. Let's see if this goes to trade rejected. Okay. Maybe I'll change this to a third for next year instead. Trade accepted. All right, cool. So we got a second-round pick from this year. We got both of Pittsburgh's picks. Not that they're going to be great, but it doesn't really matter. We got a goalie prospect, and we got rid of... Oh, wow. Okay, Colton Parayko, 7 years at 6.5 isn't really an attractive asset for me right now. Don't know if I want to take on that much salary, especially with Marc-Edouard Vlasic taking up most of our cap space on defense. You know what? How old is Parayko? He's 30. No, it's not really going to be worth it for us. I was going to see if we could maybe get a trade involved with Vlasic to try and keep the salaries even, but no, we'll just stick with our one trade for now, and we'll keep looking around. All right, guys, this is pretty crazy. I just did a fine trade on Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and we have 6 offers. I did not think that he would be in this high of a demand, especially with his term left. But you can see we get Troy Stecher from the Arizona Coyotes, a third-round pick from the Leafs, 4th from LA, 4th from Toronto. Yeah, this is pretty insane. I'll look around and see which one has the best value. I think it might be the Stecher one, though. Yeah, I think I might end up going with the Stecher one, honestly, just because he could actually play in the NHL and replace Vlasic right away. Probably won't end up re-signing him, maybe, if we need another depth piece. And he fits in our scouting assessment, so that's not too bad either. So we're going to give up $7 million from our salary, take back Troy Stecher in return. Yeah, I mean, Arizona still just barely meets the cap floor in this, which is pretty crazy to see, but we will take this deal. Thank you very much, Arizona. Typically, the Coyotes like to weaponize their cap space. It didn't really look like they were doing that there. I'm not going to complain. I mean, it was an available trade. I'll take it. Oh, what's another offer for us? Damon Severson. I don't know how old he is, but now that we just freed up that cap space, this could be an option. Let's take a look at this. 8 years left is just, it seems like a lot for us to be committing to Damon Severson, especially at 29 years old. Not having an overwhelmingly good season. Seems to be good with the plus minus. Fits on all of our defensive pairings. I don't know. It's just not really that interesting, especially giving up a second and a fourth. It doesn't seem like a high price, but I don't know if it's just what we want right now. So I'm going to reject it. Thank you for the offer anyway. Alright guys, so it looks like we may have found a good value deal here for Jesse Puljujarvi. Our goal was to sign him in free agency, build him up, and potentially deal him away for some value back. And I think we can get that with Ridley Gregg of the Ottawa Senators. Having a pretty good year, 22 goals, 16 assists in the AHL, 77 overall, 21 years old, first round pick, two-way forward. I can list all the attributes I'd like. I just think this is a great deal for us. Puljujarvi, obviously a replaceable player in our roster. What is happening with all these trades? Oh my god, okay. I don't want Neil Pionk either. Let me go and get that Puljujarvi deal done. Alright, so here it is. Puljujarvi and a fourth from Winnipeg in next year's draft in exchange for Ridley Gregg. Let's get it done. Thank you very much, Ottawa. Let's see if there's any final deals we can get done here. Alright guys, now I'm going to try and make a trade with the Blackhawks and try and get Taylor Radish back. He's at $775,000 cap hit, but he's definitely going to be due for a raise unless there's already extension dollars on him. I don't think there is. 20 goals, 24 assists with the Blackhawks. It's pretty impressive on a lackluster Blackhawks team, but he might be playing with Connor Bedard on that top line. I'm not sure. We're adding in a second-round pick here to just kind of even the value out a little bit. And Mikael Granlund, who we got from, who was it? Was it Nashville? I don't know. When we got rid of Erik Karlsson, that's who we got back. Not really interested in keeping him for another year at a $5 million cap hit, so let's see if we can make this deal work. Trade rejected. Oh no. Okay, I would like Taylor Radish. So maybe I'll try a fourth on top of that. The value's pretty similar, so I don't think I need to add too much more. Let's do a 2027 fourth. Trade rejected. Okay. I know Radish gets pretty good in this game, so I'll do Granlund a second and a third. Trade rejected. All right, nope. No Taylor Radish. I'm not going to keep buying in and adding in more picks. I tend to do that when I get really excited about getting a player. So I don't want to overpay for something in the moment just for the sake of getting a trade done. Other than that, I'm pretty sure that's it. I might look around quickly to see if I can get rid of Granlund maybe one more time. But other than that, we might be done. All right, so I'm going to make a trade here with the Los Angeles Kings to wrap things up. Obviously, they're not doing as well as they anticipated. They're very bad, actually. They're the worst team in the league. 17 wins, 40 losses. And so I think this is an opportunity for me to get Arthur Kaliev off their team. 22-year-old, 82 overall. Currently listed as a third-line scoring forward, but I think in our system he'll get a lot more ice time, especially with Puljujärvi out of the lineup. We can maybe slot him in on the second line. Yeah, it says he fits on line 1 even, so maybe we can put him on there. Towards the end of the season, I don't mind what I'm giving up. A second-round pick isn't really ideal, but this guy, Nikolai Knyzhov, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, he wasn't even really playing for us. He was a scratch for most of the season. So, yeah, let's do this trade. Awesome. All right, welcome Arthur Kaliev. Let's get back into the simulation. All right, so here we are looking at our lineups after the trades that we made, and I can't tell if our roster got better or worse, to be honest. We got Hertl, Kaliev, and Duclair on the first line with a +3, which is going to be awesome for Kaliev to develop towards the end of the season. Granlund, Couture, and Barabanov on our second line. Eklund on the third line there with LeBanc and Lindblom. And Ridley Gregg gets called up to the NHL to the San Jose Sharks after a pretty good first half with Belleville in the AHL. So he's earned it there for sure. Zadina on our fourth line. I might end up swapping him with Lindblom. Yeah. Zadina deserves some better ice time there for sure. Any more chemistry movements? I don't think so on our forwards. I like how this is made up even if we were trying to push for a playoff spot. Although I think our team is a lot worse than the other ones in the division competing for the wild card. Defense, not good either. We got Ferraro and Stetcher on our first pairing with Jan Rutta and Radim Simek, and Kyle Burrows and Matt Benning as our final pairing. I completely forgot to look for a trade for Kaapo Kähkönen. Maybe we could do something at the draft rather, or just keep him. I don't know. He seems to be playing really well. For power play, our first unit now is a +2 with Kaliev, and I also put Eklund on this first unit just because since he's not getting top 6 time with Couture, I figured I'd swap them, and it was also a better move chemistry-wise, as you guys can see. So Couture gets a little bump on the power play, down. Eklund goes up. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. So let's simulate to the end of the season and see how we finish up. So I completely forgot about our contract extensions. It looks like Duclair is going to re-sign with us. Kähkönen accepts as well. So those are two things to keep in mind. I like Duclair as our top left winger for the foreseeable future. Yeah, keep on simming. All right, so the season is over, and we did not make the playoffs. Hooray! I guess in most cases it's not a good thing, but for us I would say it is. Let's take a look at the final stats for us. Anthony Duclair leading the way with 64 points, 33 goals. Great season for him. Obviously a super high shooting percentage, so I don't know if he'll be able to maintain that goal scoring over the next 2 or 3 seasons, but I don't hate it as a contract extension regardless. He's still super young, and he's still at 85. Thomas Hurdle, right behind him, was 62. He's an 87. Couture with 52. He's going to slowly start declining, I'm sure, at 35. Eklund, though, with a great first season, 48 points in 82 games. Seems to be developing very nicely for us. Let's see how Kaliev did. 41 points he finished with. Sorry about that. He had 15 points in 20 games with us to close out the season. Great acquisition for us on that front. Zadina with 36 points. Ridley Gregg, though, only finished with 2 points in the 20 games. Did he get any overall boost? No, it doesn't look like that. It might have been better for him to finish it off in the AHL just with the way that he was playing. But regardless, he gets some NHL experience, and he made our team significantly worse, it looks like. This guy definitely didn't, though. Kaapo Kähkönen with a .920 save percentage to finish the season, despite finishing with a 28-27 record. He was quite the bright spot for us on what was a pretty forgetful season overall. So let's simulate through the playoffs, and we'll look through all the award winners, and then we'll get to the draft. Alright, so the draft lottery results are in, and we are going to have the 9th overall pick. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly. We finished just around 500, and we still finished with a top 10 pick. Can't complain about that. Arizona is jumping from 3rd to 1st. Los Angeles with the 2nd overall pick. That is devastating for them. Philadelphia at 3. So those are the top 3 picks. Kind of unexpected kind of expected outside of Los Angeles. Now taking a look at the Stanley Cup playoffs, it seems like it was quite the wild series of events here. We see Columbus in the East there beating out Carolina in the first round, making it all the way to the conference finals to take on Buffalo. I mean, Columbus has some talent with Gaudreau and Lainan. They also have some great young players. So I guess it's not totally surprising that they would be able to go on a run like that. Buffalo as well, taking major strides, beating the Leafs in the second round, going to the conference finals, and then the Stanley Cup finals where they would lose to the Calgary Flames. Now, I mean, the Flames have a good roster. It seems like last year was a pretty unexpected drop from what they were projected to be doing. I don't think they'll be winning the Cup this year, but I think we could definitely see them back in the playoffs. They beat out the Oilers in the first round. The Predators beat out the Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights in the first round. Kraken beat the Avalanche in the first round 2 years in a row now that they've done that. Pretty wild playoff tree, not going to lie. All right, here we are in the draft, and we have the 9th overall pick and the 27th overall pick, the 27th being the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's take a look at the draft class here. Kind of different than what we would expect from this year's draft class, I'm pretty sure. Macklin Celebrini notably omitted from this. I'm pretty sure this is an error on EA's end. Hopefully this gets fixed in some patches. Anyways, we're going to be going with some guys that we have no idea about. I am not very well versed in this upcoming draft class, so this should be fun. I'm excited to see who we can get in this 9 to 10 range. It looks like there's a gem here in Vyacheslav Smirnov, a left wing, 6'3", 18. He had 20 points in 52 games in the KHL. Doesn't say what league or team. All right, cool. Looks like we have some decent options. Let's see how these picks go through. So we'll send to ours. Let's see who the top. Oh my gosh, was a 79? Whoa! This is insane. So 79 overall defenseman goes first overall. Cool. 81. Cool. 76. But then you look all the way down here. The 7th overall pick for the Ducks is an 81. That's insane. So this looks like a pretty deep draft class. We might be able to pick someone up pretty nicely here. I think we're going to go with this Smirnov fella, the left winger. He's a gem. Hopefully we did not scout very well either, so there's a whole bunch of unknown dudes here. So let's see if this guy's good. 81 overall at 9th overall. Wow. Definitely can't complain about that. Already NHL ready. Let's see who we can get with our second pick. Wow, I'm just going to take a look at our stats here for this guy. Shooting's already in the 90s. That's pretty great. 5-star shooting. 4-star skating. For a big fella, that's great. Although he seems to be pretty light on his feet. 6'3", 189. All right, I love the pick. Let's go to number 27. Looking in this range here, we're definitely going to have to do some work on our scouting. I completely messed this up in our first year. Not going to complain, though, because we got an 81 overall with our 9th pick. I like our center depth quite a bit. I wouldn't mind taking a defenseman, just because we kind of destroyed our defensive core there. His weakness is that he must bulk up. All right. I wouldn't mind taking this guy unless there's anyone else here jumping off the page. Yeah, let's go with VT Vasanen, or Vasanen. Apologies if this is an actual guy. I also think this is a crazy team name here. Kuku Kuvola of the Liga. So let's see how this guy is. Not really high expectations. Top 4D. All right, can't complain about that. There seems to be quite a lot of interesting picks here. 76 overall this deep in the draft is crazy. 78 as well at 17. Like, wow. All right. Seems like we could just take our shots and might pay off. Let's go to number 41. This is brutal. This is brutal. I thought I did my scouting, and clearly I did not. 5'10", 17 years old. Kirill Kabanov could be the play. I think I'm going to go with him. I just think if you have a 17-year-old in the draft, then it's they're probably there for a reason. This guy's numbers aren't really jumping off the page either. Let's go with our Russian fella here. Top 9 forward, 63 overall at 17. All right, I like that a lot for a second round pick. Now, just 2 picks afterwards. We can. This is like a crapshoot. This is insane. I did so badly here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with best available. Another 17-year-old. All right, we got 61. We got 2 top 9 medium forwards. Can't complain. I'm just gonna simulate the rest at this point because everything else is just gonna be a crapshoot. All right, so obviously the first order of business is to sign our rookie, Mr. Svirnov. 3 years, $975 is the standard for a player of his caliber, so we will definitely take that. Love that addition. Quentin Musty is also looking for an NHL contract, and I think we're going to give it to him. We still have 1 more year that we can wait to sign him, but I don't want to wait for him to be a UFA, and then he might not want to resign. So let's just get him done. This guy as well, Cagnani, our 4th round pick from 2023. Let's see how he was doing. I didn't even look at his stats. Pretty good numbers for a defenseman. Pretty small, 19 years old. Screw it. Welcome to the team. I'll take you on. I don't really care. Admittedly, I am so bad with the prospects when I am talking about them out loud just because I don't know them, but I just look at overall and age, and that's how I determine whether or not I should give them a contract. I don't think I'm going to re-sign this Simek fella. He wasn't really great for us, and we can find better value. Carpenter was our leading scorer in the AHL. Great season for him. He could get a contract, although he doesn't want one. He wants to get in the NHL, and that's just not going to be with our organization, unfortunately. See ya. Barabanov was pretty good for us as well. Almost 20 goals, 52 points, career high year. Let's see what kind of money he's wanting. 6 years at $5.3 million. I don't mind paying him $5.3, so I'm not really sure if I'm willing to commit to him for that long. I guess we could trade him at some point, so maybe let's see if we can cut that deal in half, maybe give him a little bit more money. 5.7. Let's try that. Zadina as well would like a contract, of course. He's earned it. I just wish I saw an overall bump, you know? Like 36 points, career year for him. I get that he's a depth forward. Maybe we'll just qualify him for now. We'll see if anyone wants to bite on him in free agency. Now, here is the fun part with all of our RFAs. Arthur Kaliev already got an overall bump, so he's definitely going to be getting a contract from us. 3 years at 2.2. Let's see if we can even make that better. I like signing him for 5, so then he gets to 27 years old, and then he might be able to get a better contract. But if we can get 8 years of Arthur Kaliev at $3 million, I will definitely take that. Pretty horrible deal on his end, not gonna lie. You're getting shafted here, Mr. Kaliev, but I will definitely take that for sure. Thomas Bordeleau, of course, probably going to be making the NHL. If not next year, then maybe one more season. So he definitely deserves a contract from us. And he's willing to take a two-way. See, we can work with guys who take two-way deals. We like two-way deals. 3 years there for him at $9.75. Hopefully he takes that. Martin Kaut with a pretty solid year in the AHL, 58 points, 24 goals. Definitely going to be offering him one, and he takes a two-way deal as well. Love guys like this. Love the mentality of I'm just going to be in your team, and if I get my shot, I get my shot. Oktiuk, 77 overall, 23. He'll probably make our team, if not this year, then one more season. So I'll sign him for 2 more years at $9.25. So many RFAs. Oh my god. Okay. Mr. Thrun, 77 overall, 23. I like that. I'm not even going to look at how many points. Wow. Okay. He had a pretty good year. Peterson. Sure. You get a contract. Now, we also have to be careful because there are a limited amount of contracts that we can be taking on here. So someone like Mr. McDonald, even though he had 64 points in 72 games at the AHL level, probably should be playing in the NHL somewhere, so I'm going to go let you find your way somewhere else. Lindblom, kind of an underwhelming season from him. Only averaged 8 minutes of ice time, so kind of a replaceable player within our organization. Mr. Jacobson, 57 overall, 21 years old. Probably not going to get much better. We can send him off as well. Brandon Coe didn't even play for us. You can go away. Now, looking at the goaltenders, Kaapo Kähkönen jumped all the way up to an 86 overall. I'm glad we waited on him. We signed him for a long-term deal and at a great price. Happy to keep him in our organization for sure. I'm going to re-sign Mäkiniemi. He was battling for us. He had a 903 save percentage despite playing on such an awful AHL squad, so he definitely deserves a contract. We'll give him a nice little payday here. We'll give him 2 years at $1 million. Oh, I can't do more than that. All right, we'll do 2 years at $9.75. Hopefully he takes that. Bo Pitt, 63 overall, 20 years old. Yeah, just in case someone gets hurt, he'll probably end up playing, so I didn't really need to qualify him there. I'll just offer him that. Alright, so Kaliev signs, Peterson signs, Barabanov signs, Oktiuk signs. Mäkiniemi doesn't like this. He doesn't want a two-way offer. Okay. I guess it's a good thing that we acquired. Whoa. These guys said that they wanted 2-year deals or two-way deals, and now they're saying no. Thrun, Musty, Cagnani, Bo Pitt, Kaut, Smirnov, our rookie signs. The problem is, I know that he's not going to play over Blackwood or Kähkönen, and I would like him as our starting goaltender in the AHL. So if that means I have to, I can't sweeten the deal. You're an RFA. So I'll qualify him for now. Doubt that anyone's going to take a bite on him, so we'll probably be able to retain his rights. Stetcher, 80 overall, 30 years old, minus 17, plus minus. He's not a bad defenseman, so I don't really mind if we re-sign him. We'll do that. Kevin Labanc, 2 years, 2 years, $2 million. That's definitely a bet I'm willing to take. Yeah, sure, dude. These deals are great. I don't mind paying that 1.5 to 2.5 range for any of these guys. Thomas Bordeleau, I don't know what you're on about. Why you now don't want a two-way deal. if I want you on the one way, I want you long term, just so we can give you proper time to develop. So I'm willing to do 4 years, just so when the contract ends, he's still in RFA, and we'll do 1.175. So you better sign. All right, so we got Bordeleau done, we got Stetcher done, we got Cunnin done, LeBanc done as well. These guys I'm willing to re-sign because they all still have potential to grow. Let's just hope that they all accept and don't make anything more difficult for us. Alright, and that pretty much wraps up the signings. We got $21 million in cap space to go and look at some free agents. But I think that's probably where we're going to wrap things up here. So the next episode, you'll see free agency, and you will see the next season. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got a lot done. I think the future's bright for the San Jose Sharks. Maybe in the next 2 seasons, we can make the playoffs. Maybe even next season. Who knows? If we can make a push now, that'd be great. We don't even know who the free agents are that we can go after. So this should be very exciting. Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions for future videos. Obviously, this is going to be an ongoing series. It won't change any of the single video content that we do. Moving forward, welcome to NHL 24. So glad that you were able to join me on this journey, and I hope to see you guys soon.